I'm Rick DiPercio, Police Chief here in Hudson. Every day, over 2,000 faculty and students flow through the doors and halls of the Hudson Public Schools. Students eager to learn and grow, faculty committed and dedicated to the success of their students. It is the responsibility of our schools, our community, and our police force to ensure students feel safe and secure in their learning environment and that they are ready and prepared for any crisis situation. In recent years, attacks on schools have become an alarming part of American society, as intruders at schools have harmed communities from Connecticut to Florida to Texas and to many other parts of the country. We hope it never happens here in Hudson. We want to make sure the students and the faculty of the Hudson Public Schools have the tools and the knowledge to deal with that type of crisis situation. ALICE is part of that preparation, and its use in a crisis situation may very well save lives.
Lines recorded. What is the address of the emergency? Okay. Do you know who he is? Or how about a clothing description? Okay, then what does he look like? I'm going to remain on the line with you until we get there, okay?
Have that. You see, on the way. We're on the way.
The ALICE training is made up of several parts. A for alert, L for lockdown, I for inform, C for counter, and E for evacuate. We'll go through each step and break it down so you understand it and what they all mean.
School doors are designed to lock from the outside to keep threats from getting inside. The A in ALICE stands for alert. So if you find a door propped at a school, it shouldn't be. Unprop the door and alert the administration or a police officer inside.
Alert is one of the most important things. If you as a student or a staff member see something that's not right, you hear something that's not right, you need to say something to somebody. Whether it's going to the principal, telling the teacher, going to the assistant principal or the school resource officer. Let that somebody else know what's going on so we can all make a decision and help save lives. Always be aware of your surroundings when you're in class and when you're transitioning in the hallways. This is the day that we never hope happens, but we need to be ready.
The L is for lockdown. A lockdown is when, say, there's an intruder in the building. We're not just shutting the door and hiding, we're locking down. So we're gonna lock that door, we're gonna barricade that door, and we're gonna spread out in the room to prepare ourselves as best as possible for an intruder trying to get into that door.
Let's go to a classroom and talk about the L in ALICE for lockdown. Lockdown is when the intruder is too close to evacuate. We want to close the door. We want to put whatever we have in our classroom in front of the door to barricade it. We want to barricade it quickly to keep the intruder out. But if a door is barricaded, it is less likely the intruder to come in and them to move to a different part of the building. Once the barricade is in place, spread out throughout the room, grab something in your hand in case you need to counter.
The I is for inform. Similar to the alert, but any new information you have, try to get it to the administration, try to get it to the whole building, try to get it to the police, if you can safely do so.
Inform is very important with ALICE, is letting people know inside the building where the threat is, who the threat is, what they're wearing, and where they are in the building. This information can be broadcasted through the PA system, specific information on who the person is if we know their name, where they are in the building. Get that information out safely as possible.
The ALICE program boils down to you taking your life in your own hands and using the information that's given to you and making the most informed decision that you can to save your lives and the lives of your students.
The C in ALICE stands for counter. Counter is a last resort tool. If you can't effectively evacuate or lock yourself down and you're going to come face to face with a threat, then you need to decide to counter. Counter can be as simple as grabbing a book and throwing it at the threat, or you could swarm and use the power of numbers to overcome the threat. But it's about taking the power pack and doing something to change the outcome of the situation.
Counter is one of the last options we want. Counter is if you're faced with that person in the building creating the threat. What you're going to do is to counter that person, to interrupt their mindset, and to distract them and possibly subdue them until the police can arrive.
The E in ALICE stands for evacuate. If there's a threat inside the building, the safest place to be is outside the building. If you're receiving information that the threat is on the other side of the building and you feel you can safely leave, then do so as soon as possible.
No one is going to second guess these, and it's up to you to be proactive. If you need to barricade that door, you barricade that door. If you need to evacuate, you evacuate. But it's you who's empowered, not the threat who's deciding what happens with your life. It's you.
Your Hudson Police Department are a group of dedicated, committed, and trained men and women who care deeply about the safety of our students. Many of these officers are parents of school children themselves. I want to assure you that they are committed to the safety and security of all children in every public school here in Hudson.